Hi, it's John Croshaw here with my author diary for the weekend in May the 25th, 2025, 250525, what number? So this is my 400th author diary episode, which means I've been doing this a while. So I'm going to do something different today. I've called out for people on my Patreon and on Facebook to do questions and answers. So I've got a few questions. I'm actually going to break this up into a couple of episodes because next week I'm having a break. So no proper author diary being recorded, but I will do the second half of the Q&A. And to help me with the questions, I'm joined by my wife Claire.
Hello.
So Claire is, of course, my fantastic editor, cherryedits.com. So yeah, go ahead, Claire, if you can read questions and names of all the people, the Patreon people this week, first ones.
Yes, no problem. So from Patreon you had Terry, and Terry asks, what gives you inspiration for what you write?
I don't know is the answer to that. It's kind of everything. I just get stories in my head and characters and voices, and I have to get them out of my head because otherwise I get a bit twitchy. So yeah, does that sound about right, Claire?
You're always thinking of something. Yeah, if you're ever distracted, it's because you're thinking a story idea is brewing. So I don't know, everything's that you read, listen to, hear on the news.
Yeah, just everything, isn't it? Yeah.
Stupid conversations we have in the park.
Yeah, that's true.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Terry also asks, what are your favourite books?
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. I like a lot of books. Obviously, I'm always listening to audiobooks. I would say some of my favourites are things like the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. Love Robin Hobb stuff. The Greatcoats series by Sebastian de Castell. What else? Love stuff like Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe, which is like really impenetrable sci-fi. But it's like a puzzle to be solved, and it's great. What else? Terry Pratchett, yeah, just any Discworld stuff. That's cool. Michael J. Sullivan, his Ryria stuff, his or is it First Empire stuff? Anything like that, that's good. Anything I like stuff with strong friendships, banter, that kind of stuff. That's that's what I look for with stories.
Well, Terry's third question was, who are your favourite authors? So I think you've probably answered that as part of that, have you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think what did I say? Robin Hobb. Yeah, Terry Pratchett. Yeah, Gene Wolfe. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you've also had a few questions from Debbie on Patreon, and Debbie asks, "I really enjoy your books. What made you decide to become an author?"
Don't know. Just again, it's that story thing. I used to be a journalist, and I mean, I could say this now because I've not worked there for about 8 years. But whenever I had a bit of downtime, I'd kind of sneak aside and do a little short story, things like that. So I've always been creative, always been into writing as well. So I started off doing academic writing, journalism, and it was all me circling around this thing where basically for my adult life, I've been doing professional writing in one way or another, and fiction just seemed to be like the logical conclusion of that. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah. And also just there's more to it than that though, really, isn't there? There's the whole just aspect of freedom within being a writer,
Yeah.
and just like letting your mind grow and go wherever it wants to go. I think you like that.
Yeah.
Part of it as well. Just answering for you, John.
No, that's why it's good, because you probably know me better than I do. So
I don't know about that. All right. How did you come up with the Ravenglass themes in your book, which are great? Yeah. They're great, Debbie says.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. So how do you come up with the themes for Ravenglass?
I don't know. It's always stuff that I'm just interested in, like Full of Wolfsbane, Ravenglass Legends stuff. It's like that. The theme of that really is that was inspired by going to Egypt and kind of go around the Antiquities Museum and all those ancient places, and then thinking, the Rosetta Stone, where's that? Why am I looking at a plaster cast? Oh yeah, it's in the British Museum. And so just kind of got me thinking a lot about colonialism and what it means to be invaded, and I wanted to not just go, oh, isn't the Empire bad? Isn't an Empire bad? I wanted to kind of have a more nuanced approach. So having the person who's a rebel, which is obviously Maya, and then you've got Ragnar, who is the person who's trying to assimilate, and it's kind of a discussion about that. So it's always, I suppose it's a way of me exploring these ideas with like a theme underneath it. Same with the Ravenglass Chronicles. That was me wanting to do essentially a novella series that's inspired by the tarot. So each of those episodes is inspired by a tarot card. So that informed the story and the structure and everything. So yeah, that
Okay.
sounds about right.
Could you describe how you came up with the characters within your book?
Not really. They just come to
Have
me.
a go, John.
Well, I
Have a
know.
go.
I know. There's a question in it, but
Yeah.
it's like it. The thing is with the characters is I kind of have to have. I need to know who the characters are before I can start even thinking about a story. It's like I'll get the character, I'll get the voice, I'll get kind of what's their kind of big goal or whatever. So it's so I'll kind of picture the scene, picture the character, and then if they're sticky in my head, then it kind of goes with that. But I don't know really. It's not. I don't sit there with character sheets or anything like that. I go, this guy's got green eyes and he's 6'2", and no, I don't do any of that stuff. I need to be kind of in the mind of the characters.
So do you just get characters from who would exist naturally in that world then? It's like the characters come out of the world.
Yeah, the characters come out of the world, and like I suppose I always think of like if a big event's happening like at the start of Ravenglass Legends, let's say, it's like who's got most at stake in that thing, and it's like, well, it's obviously Ragnar and his sister, isn't it? It's like they're the ones who've had their dad killed and had their village destroyed. And
so you think the children of the person who's just been killed, and then you come up with Ragnar and
yeah, I suppose it comes from that. Yeah.
All right. Which characters were your most challenging to write?
To be honest, it's probably Fedor from Dawn of Assassins, and the reason being is that I think because I'm so much in the characters, it's like I think of like where I want the story to go, and then the characters don't play along. And Fedor did not play along and hasn't played along at all. So the fact that the series is called Dawn of Assassins and Fedor's just like, no, I'm not going to be an assassin. That's not who I am. It's like it's a bit frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for readers as well because it's more of a thief fantasy than an assassin fantasy. But you can blame Fedor for that because he just doesn't play along.
And lastly, from Debbie, how do you come up with your cover designs, which Debbie says are outstanding?
I give a very vague brief. My cover designer, Christian, is awesome. He knows what I want, and it's basically, I think, a few lines usually, just saying, I want a cool-looking Viking-y guy with a sword. He's about 16. Give him a little beard. Make sure there's a wyvern in the background to keep it with the rest of the branding. It's literally the designer is great, and so I can't really take any credit for that. He just knows what works for my stuff. Yeah.
And that's your lot for your Patreon questions, John.
Excellent.
So happy 400th
anniversary, week-iversary,
whatever it is.
Yeah, 400th episode. So I have got more questions, but I will come back and through the magic of time travel. Yeah, I will see you next week. So until next time, cheerio.